Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so very much for tuning in. We have a lot to talk about, and this is going to be another great segment. So, Nancy Pelosi tried to create there's already a rivalry, but she tried to one up Trump. Oh, you're not invited. You're not invited anymore. Britton Johnson, hello. You're not invited anymore to speak at the House of at Congress. We're going to uninvite you. You're not allowed to speak the State of the Union. You can just maybe smoke signals or messenger pigeon, whatever you want to do. Email the State of the Union. I don't care. You're no longer allowed to give the State of the Union. That's it. Joseph Arbuckle, thank you. You're no longer allowed to do that. Nancy Pelosi has uninvited President Trump. So then what do you expect? I mean, that really actually bothered me yesterday. It bothered me, and just the level, Brooke, hello. The level of petulance. Britton Johnson, our president is the ultimate alpha. Yes, Britton Johnson, thank you. Just the level of petulance and foolishness. And then you have Trump today. I just have to read this because it's so funny. It is so funny. It's so great. It doesn't get old. And it's just so amazing. Then you have William Barr the other day who promised a Strzok investigation. I've done endless segments on this. He's promising a Peter Strzok FBI investigation on those text messages where basically the admission that they set up Trump. And I'll get to Bruce Orr notified Obama's administration about Clinton's link. She outsourced the Steele Dossier, and about the fact that it was compiled or whatever, completely fabricated. It was a fantasy novel written by a guy who couldn't stand Trump, who wanted to undermine Trump. That is not evidence for an investigation. Sorry, it is just not evidence for an investigation. Sorry. But Pelosi, Trump. Okay, so charter bus full of Democratic congressmen forced to turn around after Trump cancels trip. Oh no. Could you imagine them throwing just in the bus like kids, all happy. We're going to Brussels. Yay. Oh my God, we're going to Brussels. So happy. Not. You're not going anywhere. Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, and how embarrassing. Like, here you are, we're the strong Democratic Party. We're going to show this bully, this Trump bully. We'll show him you're not invited to Congress. You're not even president. Oh, what? We're not allowed to go out of the country. And Trump's like, yeah, you can go. Southwest might fly to, I'm not sure if they fly to Kabul, but you might want to ask. Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, and a select group of congressional Democrats were boarded on a military charter bus bound for Andrews Air Force Base to catch a military charter jet to Europe. Were forced to turn around Thursday when President Donald Trump officially postponed the trip. Yeah. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Yes. Yes. This is like a Dikembe Mutombo block. Just, Pelosi's going for the layup. Nope, not happening. Trump sent a letter to Pelosi informing her that she would not be allowed to use military aircraft to travel due to the government shutdown, and instead suggested that Pelosi fly commercial. Oh my God, that's so good. That's so good. That is so good. Oh my God. Hello. Due to the shutdown, I'm sorry to inform you that your trip to Brussels, Egypt, and Afghanistan has been postponed. We will reschedule this 7-day excursion. All expense paid tour. Excursion. We will reschedule this 7-day excursion when the shutdown is over. In light of the 800,000 great American workers not receiving pay, I am sure you would agree that postponing this public relations event, notice how he demeans the trip, is so great, event is totally appropriate. So, so this wouldn't have happened had she not uninvited Trump, which is so like the petulance is unbelievable. And the thing is, she's not negotiating. So you would think that Johnny Five. Remember when Obama was on SNL or something and replied to Trump saying, "At least I will go down as president." Johnny Five. Yes, remember when Obama was on SNL or something? Replied to Trump saying, "Oh, that's true. That's true." Well, Trump's also going to be a two-term. Exactly. Johnny Five. Thank you. Trump's also going to be a two-term president. According to the Hill reporters, exactly. Johnny Five. Thank you. According to Capitol Hill reporters, Democrats had already departed in their military charter bus for their previously unannounced trip and were forced to turn around. Reporters on the Hill noted that members were furious over the trip derailment. Oh, I'm so sorry. But you can always fly Southwest or Delta or whatever. Just like everyone else. Adam Schiff was on the bus. Oh, yeah. Adam Schiff was on the bus, was forced to turn around and told reporters, "I don't have any comment." When asked about the incident. Of course you don't have any comment. You just got the ultimate burn. Republican Congressman Sean Duffy tweeted, "Democrats, get off the bus and help us secure the border." They were on their bus. Oh, no. Poor Democrats. They were on a field trip. They were going on their field trip, and suddenly Trump said, "No more field trip for you." So, Johnny Five, thank you. Wait, Canadian, HA Political, thank you. This is a great day. I wish George Carlin could. Oh my God, George Carlin. Could you imagine with the political correctness insanity going on? George Carlin. Oh my God. Could you imagine? Could you imagine? I mean, no great comedian. Richard Pryor wouldn't be able to stand any of this. I mean, Richard Pryor, George Carlin, Robin Williams, Don Rickles, they'd say, "Oh my God, how dare you? Your joke relates to this euphemism, which relates to that euphemism, which means that you're immoral and unethical, and we're going to condemn you. You made a joke. You must apologize to all the people on Twitter, the morality police that nobody cares about in the world." Trump's letter concluded for Pelosi to negotiate by asking, I also feel that during this period, it would be better if you were in Washington negotiating with me and joining the strong border security movement to end the shutdown. Obviously, if you would like to make your journey by flying commercial, that would certainly be your prerogative. I love it. Oh, my God. Oh my God. That's so great. That's so great. I love it. I love it. Charter bus full of Democrats. Just forced to turn around. Just that poor picture of the bus. Charter bus full of Democratic congressmen forced to turn around after Trump cancels trip. Oh, that's so great. Oh my God, that's so great. They got mushroom. Sarah Ann Rapp, thank you. Johnny Five, if the government is 20% closed, does that mean we are 20% free? Johnny Five, thank you. It's true. We are, in a way, 20%. Well, 20%, yeah. To a certain extent. Thank you, Johnny Five. Thank you. If that Daily Caller article is accurate, a great percentage of the people not working in government just wanted to undermine Trump to begin with. But Pelosi's baggage was returned to her office. Yes. Wah, wah, wah. Gosh, that uninviting Trump didn't work out for you, did it? Trump shifted those swamp creatures. Britton Johnson, yes. Johnny Five, thank you, Johnny Five. Thank you as always, Johnny Five. Oh my goodness. Pelosi's baggage was returned to her office after Trump canceled. That's so great. Could you imagine though, like if it was stuck at TSA because like they're not working, so or they're not. Yeah, they're not. Well, no. TSA is working. Johnny Five, you're awesome. And I'm glad you watched this channel. Some topical video expect from VPN. No, you're awesome. Johnny Five, thank you. Johnny Five, thank you so very much. It's always supporting this channel. Thank you so very, very, very much, Johnny Five. Thank you. Johnny Five, Pelosi's baggage was returned to her office. Wah, wah, wah. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's luggage was returned to her office after President Donald Trump canceled her internet. What, like, they were riding so high. They were so powerful, and oh my gosh, they were just so like, we're gonna show this bully, and then Trump's like, nah, no more bus trip for you, no more trip for you. We're gonna cancel your plan. So this is a precursor, ladies and gentlemen, to William Barr. Eventually, this is all going to be part of 2019, where Trump just fights back. He has to fight back, and he's going to. You see a little bit glimpse of this. You see a little glimpse of this, which is so hilarious. Johnny Five. Thank you, Johnny Five. Thank you. Thank you, Johnny Five. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, we have a situation here also where, switching gears a little bit. Why did Lindsey Graham, we don't need Lindsey Graham as the little, parent. Oh my God, Lindsey Graham, just do your job and make sure that Trump is, everyone who framed Trump, and make sure that you just, Democrats don't, what is it? One sophomoric response does not deserve another. Oh, thanks, Lindsey. Oh, golly gee. We really need you to be even-handed. Speaker Pelosi's threat to cancel State of the Union is very irresponsible and blatantly political. Oh, okay. I see what you were doing. You're trying to admonish Trump, but at the same time going back to, what Pelosi was really bad, but this was a sophomoric response. Oh gosh, golly gee. Golly gee. Don't you love, Lindsey Graham, it's like there aren't many people, and this, I had a really beautiful email from somebody who I believe is a progressive on contactgoodman78@gmail.com. If anybody ever wants to respond, any pundit wants to respond to a challenge from me to debate, since they're so fight the oligarchy, man. Medicare for all, man. Oops. Oops, your trip to Brussels was canceled. It's contactgoodman78@gmail.com. And if you want to be a part of the newsletter, I just sent out an email. But I had a really beautiful email from somebody from the left who still watches me. He says, HA, people are suffering. Use your voice to, you know, use your voice for good and, try to explain, this is not right. The government shouldn't be shut down. And I get it. I understand. But one thing, though, um, Democrats apparently don't care. Democrats spent $45 billion just in 1 year in one overseas conflict. Okay. $45 billion in one of the countries that Trump wants to bring 7,000 Americans back home. So this is Kimberly Strassel, the great Kimberly Strassel. So, I got to get to this, but what Bruce Orr told the FBI, if you're going to spend $45 billion, now in terms of all the conflicts, you're looking at it cool, easy, $100 billion, $100 billion plus every year for all the military operations. And you can't spend $5 billion for something that you would have funded if it were a fence. I actually, the interesting thing is, like, foreign aid, I don't mind. I just don't want the counterinsurgency conflicts, sending America. So then it's unbelievable. I won't get into it, but bring home Americans from counterinsurgency conflicts. Bring all 7,000, close to 10,000 in the two places that that Trump wants to bring home Americans. If you want to bring home all the Americans from conflict, from horrendous quagmires, tomorrow, press 1 right now. Press 1 right now. If you, like President Trump, want to bring home all Americans from these conflicts and these quagmires, press 1. Exactly. 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 You can't have a funding battle or a dispute with people who have no problem giving hundreds of billions of dollars, but simply, and it's a wall, there's nothing inherently immoral about a wall. There's nothing immoral about a wall. Nothing immoral. Nothing immoral. And they do work. No, they don't work. Yeah, they do work. Nothing immoral. So it's just, semantics with Democrats. But anyway, what Bruce Orr told the FBI, this is Kimberly Strassel, wonderful, wonderful Wall Street Journal opinion, a columnist, absolutely wonderful. This is really interesting. Everybody knew it. This is Kimberly Strassel. And if you just read Kimberly Strassel, Sarah Carter, Tom Fitton, Paul Sperry, John Solomon, listen to Joe DeGeneva, Victoria Tenzing, Dan Bongino. If you watch this channel, you'll get pretty much everything that's going to take place in 2019, because I've been saying this since 2015. You can go my writing, Daily Caller, The Hill, the Huffington Post. So I've been saying this. People are like, well, how come you bring up everything you've done? Because you're watching this for a reason. Anyway, this is Kimberly Strassel. Everybody knew, everybody of consequence, that the Federal Bureau of Investigation and Justice Department understood fully in the middle of 2016, as the FBI embarked on its counterintelligence probe of Donald Trump, that it was doing so based on disinformation provided by Hillary Clinton's campaign. That's the big revelation from the transcript of the testimony of Justice Department official Bruce Orr gave to Congress in August. The transcripts haven't been released, but parts were confirmed. Okay, so it's game, set, match. William Barr is going to there's going to be either a special counsel or a new investigation, a criminal probe into Peter Strzok all of these, the Steele Dossier, the utilization of the Steele Dossier, it's happening, ladies and gentlemen. It is happening. It is happening. It is happening. So William Barr is going to be confirmed. I believe later this month he's going to be officially the Department of the Attorney General. So January. Hold on. I'm trying to find out here, when is he going to be confirmed? So I believe it's in late January. But what's going to take place is he's going to become Attorney General. And because he was already Attorney General and he knows more about the Justice Department. And Democrats, they revere authority. They revere government. So I mean, it's like trying to find out here. When is the vote? Let me just see. When is the official confirmation vote? I'm trying to find out. All right, I believe it's late January, sometime in January. But anyway, let's continue. Let's continue, because this is pretty awesome. It's all unraveling. It is all unraveling. All right. Mr. Orr testified that he sat down with dossier author Christopher Steele on July 30th, 2016, and received salacious information. The opposition, this is so ridiculous. I stated it was in 2017. That is so ridiculous and absurd. And I stated so in 2017. Mr. Orr testified he sat down with dossier author Christopher Steele on July 30th, 2016, and received salacious information the opposition researcher had compiled on Mr. Trump. Mr. Orr immediately took that the FBI's then Deputy Attorney General Andrew McCabe and lawyer Lisa Page. Mr. Orr immediately took that to the FBI's then Director Andrew McCabe and lawyer Lisa Page. In August, Deputy Director, in August, he took it to Peter Strzok, the Bureau's lead investigator. In the same month, Mr. Orr believes he briefed senior personnel in the Justice Department's Criminal Division, Deputy Attorney General Bruce Schwartz, lawyer Zainab Ahmad. These are two people on Mueller's probe, and fraud unit Andrew Weissman and Ahmad are two people on Mueller's probe. The last two now work for Special Counsel Mueller. The whole thing was a setup. It was an obvious setup, so obvious. It's so overt. It's so transparent. The only people who think it's real simply have suspicion without any evidence. Meanwhile, there's evidence with Clinton. She transferred top secret intelligence outside of the United States government, but they have no suspicion. Like, oh, we trust her. No problem. No problem. Bill Clinton met with Vladimir Putin at his home. No problem. Not a problem at all. Not a problem at all. More important, Mr. Orr told this team the information came from the Clinton camp and warned that it was likely biased, certainly unproven. I love when they say unproven instead of just complete nonsense. Don't you love when things are like, well, we just don't know? It's like obvious nonsense. When I provided the Steele information to the FBI, I tried to be clear that this is source information. Ooh, it's source information. I didn't know how reliable it is. You're going to have to check it out and be aware. These guys were hired by somebody relating to who's related to the Clinton campaign, and be aware. They didn't care. They needed some pretext. They needed some pretext. Anything. He said he told them that Mr. Steele was desperate that Donald Trump not get elected, and that his own wife, Nellie Orr, worked for Fusion GPS. My God, which compiled the dossier. He confirmed sounding all these warnings before the FBI filed its October application for a surveillance warrant against Carter Page. We broke some of this in August. Though the transcript, okay, so the FBI and Justice Department have gone to extraordinary lengths to muddy these details, which covers the Democrats and friendly journalists. A 2017 memo from Adam Schiff, House Intelligence Committee's top Democrat, flatly and incorrectly insisted the FBI's closely held investigative team only received Steele's reporting in mid-September. A May 2018 New York Times report, so that's wrong. It was in July. A May 2018 New York Times report repeated the claim, saying Mr. Steele's report didn't reach the Crossfire Hurricane team, which ran the counterintelligence investigation until mid-September. Why? Because they wanted to see that, there's so much going on, and this was just another report that added on to, oh my God, smoke, and oh my God, no. The only thing they had was a ridiculous, ludicrous, nonsensical compilation of gossip. And it's like you would get more information from, a discarded paper wrapper. I don't even know, whatever. There's nothing there, a comic book, than this. The line was essentially for upholding. This line was essentially for upholding the claim that the dossier played no role in the unprecedented July 31st, 2016 decision to investigate a presidential campaign. It's unprecedented. It never happened. We had a peaceful transition of power before President Obama decided to investigate, his DOJ decided to investigate. And don't say, if Manafort gave polling data to somebody, if that means that Trump and that Putin hacked the DNC with Trump, then I think you can make the logical leap to say that Obama knew his own FBI was investigating Trump. And I think you can make the leap of logic that Obama knew Hillary Clinton used a private server. Well, there's no evidence. Yeah, he used a pseudonym. Every time anyone on the left says something, there's no evidence to suggest, that means there's obvious evidence to suggest. They just don't find it suspicious. We'll stop Trump. Vox was like, there's no evidence to suggest that Strzok acted inappropriately. Of course there is. He was fired from the Mueller campaign because of those text messages. Of course there is. Former officials have insisted they rushed to take this dramatic step on the basis of a conversation involving a low-level campaign aide, George Papadopoulos, which took place in May, before the dossier officially came into the picture. And maybe that is the case. Yet now Mr. Orr has testified that top personnel had dossier details around the time they opened the probe. The Orr testimony is also further evidence that the FBI misled the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court on its page warrant application. We already knew the Bureau failed to inform the court it knew the dossier had come from a rival campaign, but the FISA application additionally claimed the FBI was, quote, unaware of any derogatory information pertaining to Mr. Steele. Wrong. Lied to the court. Isn't that interesting? Who wrote this? That's a criminal act to Mr. Steele, and he was reliable, and that is reporting in this case was credible. No. And the FBI only speculates that Mr. Steele's bosses likely wanted to discredit Trump. Wrong, wrong, wrong. Speculates likely. This is a criminal attempt. A criminal attempt to deceive. Wrong. A criminal attempt to deceive. A criminal attempt to deceive. Unfortunately, I wish the media could be held criminally liable, but I don't believe they can. Even BuzzFeed got away with publishing the Steele Dossier because of an ongoing investigation. But it's kind of hilarious. Michael Cohen was suing BuzzFeed. BuzzFeed was suing the DNC. Speculates likely. Mr. Orr makes clear FBI and Justice Department officials knew from the earliest days that Mr. Steele was working for the Clinton campaign, which had an obvious desire to discredit Mr. Trump. And Mr. Orr specifically told investigators they had every reason to worry Mr. Steele's work product was tainted. This testimony has two other implications. First, it further demonstrates the accuracy of the House Intelligence Committee Republicans' memo of 2008, which noted Mr. Orr's role and pointed out that the FBI had not been honest about its knowledge of the dossier and failed to inform the court Miss Orr's employment of Fusion GPS. The testimony also destroys any remaining credibility of the Democratic response in which Mr. Schiff and his colleagues claim Mr. Orr hadn't met with the FBI or told them anything about his wife or Mr. Steele's bias. They knew everything. They knew it was purchased by Clinton. They knew it was basically the Russia probe is a Clinton purchased Democratic Party operation. That's it. I've been saying this since day one. Second, the testimony raises new concerns about Mueller's team. Fire Mueller just from this. You have zero reason, and Flynn should be pardoned tomorrow. What about Kislyak? What about anything? You still haven't connected any dot to Putin because there was none. Putin did not hack the DNC to inform everyone that Bernie Sanders was cheated, thus giving Clinton the popular vote but hurting her in swing states. It's ridiculous. I mean, how desperate do you have to be? Well, you have to be a Democrat and that Jacob Javits. Oh my God. Critics have noted Mr. Weissman's donations to Ms. Clinton and his unseemingly support of former acting Attorney General Sally Yates' obstruction of Trump's orders. Unseemly support. It now turns out that senior Mueller players were central to the dossier scandal. The conflict interest boggles. That's why Mueller should never have been appointed based on Comey's memos. Are you kidding me? The Orr testimony is evidence the FBI itself knows how seriously it erred. The FBI has been hiding and twisting facts from the start. Look, William Barr is going to eventually this year disclose everything. Absolutely everything. Exactly. All right, ladies and gentlemen, God bless. We'll call a little earlier, but this story is monumental. I'd love to do Bernie Sanders, but I'm going to save Bernie for another time. Deborah Wasserman, I love you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. God bless to my super chat. Thank you so very, very, very much. Ladies and gentlemen, watch this channel tomorrow. The next couple of weeks are going to be awesome. This year is going to be awesome. Thank you so very much. Definitely check out my Second Amendment channel. Thank you.